Hello everyone, Greg here, and let's do some training today on a belief that a lot of chiros have. And if you believe this, that you can turn up for your shift in reasonable time, and like things should just work. Maybe you've done some training with your team in the days, weeks, months, years going on, and you've taught them some things, and things should flow. And you turn up, your patients, your practice members, your clients turn up, and you've told them what they need, and they should just do it, and it should just flow. If you have that belief, I bet you probably feel frustrated quite a lot. I bet you probably have a lot of angst and frustration that things aren't flowing the way that you think they should, the way that they should in your mind. I bet you your numbers probably aren't where you want them to be. Maybe your total numbers are a little bit low. People aren't staying with you for very long. Your PVA is low, and maybe your collections, your finances are a little bit low. Else you have to pump lots of new people into the system to keep that high. If you're experiencing any of those, then you probably are short one procedure that will help you. And I'm going to teach you that procedure in a second, but really there's a belief that underlies this that we need to know. And the belief that you might be functioning on is that you've told people things once, so they should get it, and they should just keep doing what you told them to do. But the problem is that we don't get a message just once. The real mistake we're making is we're not bearing in mind one of the most fundamental principles of human learning, which is time and repetition. Time and repetition, time and repetition. Those are really massively important for human learning and for human behavior. It's one of the fundamentals of human behavior. So I'll tell you about Debbie, who used to work with us here in the practice as a client as well. And Debbie was a committed chiropractor. She was a good adjuster, but her numbers were limp. She was frustrated. People weren't staying in care. She wasn't gelling well with the team, and things just weren't going well. So we focused on this one procedure that has two parts. I'll teach you in a sec. And within a week, things changed. Within a week, her numbers were looking up again. Within a week, the team was working like a well-oiled machine. She was much happier, much more fulfilled, and much more hopeful than before. And she was making more money just after that week. Like, she could see the change in her bank account as well. So if you want people to follow your recommendations more faithfully, if you want your team, your CAs, your front desk to be like this well-oiled machine that's kind of doing things before you ask them to, heaven, and if you want your bank account to go up because you're serving the world in the right way, then let's check it out. So this procedure, let's come to the video screen here. This procedure is called the Preshift huddle and the Postshift huddle. And so it's time for you and your team to just take a few moments. It doesn't have to be massively long. Like, this is literally less than 5 minutes. And in the Preshift huddle, you want to come together and have a look at three fundamental things. So let's zoom in on this. What are the three things you're going to look at the Preshift huddle? So the Preshift huddle, what you're going to look at is you're going to look at each individual person coming in to your practice. They're due to come in, and you're going to look at what's happening in their case clinically. Are they sticking to their schedule? Are they making the progress you expected? Are there any exercises or stretches or advice you need to be able to give them? Where are they on their clinical journey with you? And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to look at where are they educationally. Where is their education in terms of getting this chiropractic message? Do they understand that where they are is a result of where they've been? Do they know that there's many different factors, the chemical, physical, mental, that affect them? Do they know that brain, spine, and nervous system is central to health and well-being and is master control and coordinating system of the body? Do they know that kids need to be adjusted? Do they know that old people can be adjusted? Like, where are they in their education? What is the next one little nugget that you can add in their education? And what about referrals? Are they bringing other people into the office? Do they understand that chiropractic is a family gig, is a community gig? So you can really have a look at that there. And then the last one is just make sure that they're on track financially in your office. So that's make sure that they're agreement, their financial agreement that you have them on is up to date, is current. Do you need to touch base to see if there are any financial conditions coming up? Because what you can do is you can preempt a whole lot of these problems. So those are the three things you touch on, and it's not just you, it's you and your CAs. You and your front desk team are getting a handle on all of these three things. Each of these three things, each and all of them, so that you can handle them well. And then at the end of the shift, you're reviewing what happened with each person. If there's any snags, you're looking for wins and lessons. And this is massively valuable because your front desk will feed you back little things like, so Mrs. Jones, who is in, mentioned that she might be going overseas soon. Okay, well, that's important because that might change clinically how you're going to deal with things. It might change financially how things are going to be happening. So that's something for you to know. Or James, who was in earlier, said that things are starting to get a little bit tight for him. This is your front desk feeding back to you. Well, now at your next visit, you can have a financial conversation up front. This means you're going to have less dropout. Less people just dropping out of care for no known reason because these small little things that are niggling them, they might have mentioned to the front desk mentioned to you at your post-shift huddle, and now you can handle it preemptively with the person. So this is the pre-shift huddle and the post-shift huddle. This can dramatically change your satisfaction in your practice. It can change how well people are attending to their schedule, because if you're picking up clinically that they missed a visit last week, you build that into your adjustment this week, and you make sure that you can demonstrate to them the deficit of them not having come in, and they get this experiential process of what it means to miss an adjustment. That's more than just telling them. But if you hadn't done your pre-shift huddle and you weren't clear that that was happening, this wasn't going to happen. Now, there's one other amazing thing that happens with the pre and the post-shift huddle, especially the pre-shift huddle, is that people show up in your practice and you've already expected them. Imagine you walk into somebody's house and you're kind of taking them by surprise, and it's somebody you don't know too well. You walk into their house, it's an environment you might know a little bit, but the person turns around and goes, oh, hi, it's you. Okay, come on in. Would you feel welcomed? Yeah, probably not. But if you walked into that person's house and they said, oh, James, lovely to see you. Come on in. We've been expecting you. Here's this thing that I prepared for you. Would they feel more welcomed? Of course. So if people feel that they're expected and that they've been prepared for, they will feel more comfortable in your practice. So by doing the pre and post shift huddle, people will feel more comfortable coming to you. They'll feel more comfortable coming back. They'll look forward to it because they know that you're looking forward to seeing them. So that is the simple procedure with two parts, part 1 and part 2, that can dramatically change your practice. Now, if these kind of changes sound good to you, these small procedural tweaks that can yield big leverage change in your practice, so that you can have more fun in practice, you can do what makes your heart sing more, you can have less frustration, so that you can change the world, you can be making the difference you want to make, so people are getting the chiropractic message, they're not dropping out, you're not being frustrated in practice as much, and so that you can make a profit, so that your bottom line can improve while you're improving your service to the world. You can get this financial reward so you can feel more stable and more comfortable in life. If you'd like to do what makes your heart sing, if you'd like to change the world, and if you'd like to make a profit all at the same time, then join us, because we are running a small case study. We were taking on a few chiropractors who are in practice and are already seeing people, and we're going to help them to transform their practice in just the first 8 weeks. So if you'd like to know more about that, just in the comments below, type in case study.